Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Midnight Mayhem. Today we are going to be reviewing VHS Beyond. That is going to be the 7th installment in the VHS series. And I will just say off the bat, not one of my favorites. What did you guys think?
It had its moments, just like every other one. I mean,
every VHS film that I've seen, and I've seen
every single one. Yeah, no, I've seen the first two.
I have seen all of them, actually.
Really?
All of them? Like
I've seen all of them.
Oh,
That's crazy.
I've seen
That's
99, I've seen 80, 84, I've seen
95, 94, 90.
So, there. Yeah, I was surprised. I didn't realize there were that many. I thought there was only like four or five.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so I was like, wait, there was an 86, a 90, 94, 99? I was like, where did these four movies come from?
It was like, VHS 99. I didn't realize I didn't see the other 98.
We should mention this is a Shudder exclusive, right?
Yes, this is a Shudder exclusive.
I mean, just like the other ones, no?
No.
Besides,
I mean,
we only have, like,
the
one.
original one we saw, what
On
was it,
Netflix.
2012, which is on Netflix. I don't know who exactly has the streaming rights for the franchise.
Probably Shudder now.
Well, it's Shudder now.
Yeah.
Good for you, Shudder. Get some bigger names.
They're good.
But yeah, so we're gonna.
If you haven't seen any of the VHSs or you have no idea what we're talking about, they're literally like there's an overarching story that combines an anthology together. So they're not related. None of the stories, they're short stories, but none of them are related to each other. So there's like, let's say a gentleman stuck in a room and he's watching VHSs. That's the correlating story. And then each story is like balls to the
different
walls.
VHS.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they all have some sort of like interconnecting theme in a way, somewhat.
I would.
For example,
I
like
wouldn't
this one
say
was
so.
Beyond. It had a lot of
Oh, we were
Beyond.
just based on the title alone, I was like, oh, it must be just about aliens.
Yeah.
And that's what I was
That's
expecting.
what I thought too.
And you
But-
said something super funny because you were like, "I'm not super into movies with aliens in it."
Yeah.
And then they quote the Predator, like, "I love the Predator.
This is
I
a great
love
movie.
aliens."
It's a great movie so far. I was like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
No, there's a couple of. I'm not gonna explain myself. But
Good.
so this movie isn't. That was just an example about someone watching VHS. So it's different.
So VHS is a, what do they call it? Anthology series.
Yep.
It involves one wraparound and usually about 3 to 5 different
Shorts.
segments.
Mm-hmm.
So what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about the overall arching segment at the end. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and talk about the individual segments, whether we liked it or not. And we'll just go from there. You guys ready?
Yeah. But fair warning, spoilers ahead, straight through. Ideally, we want you to have watched this movie beforehand. It just came out, like, what?
2 days ago.
Like 2 days ago.
So by the time this comes up, maybe like
It's
a week
new.
or two.
It's
So
recent.
by the time
It's
this comes
shiny.
out, it's probably like VHS Beyond 2 is going to come out.
Hopefully not. It's hopefully still October.
By the time this comes out,
It's February.
yeah. by the time this one comes out, it's going to be DVD Beyond.
We might just make it a Valentine's Day
Beyond.
special.
Yeah.
But just expect us to just go straight into spoilers. If you checked it out, cool. If not, I mean, I don't even want to rate
Then why are
it
you
yet.
here?
Yeah, this one is very much like it's
Also,
not,
thank you for supporting the channel.
Thank you.
This is not for everyone.
No.
That's just my opinion right off the bat. I don't know if I recommend this to people.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Do you say you wouldn't recommend this?
Nah, I feel like a lot of subsegments are headache inducing. I would show certain parts.
Yeah, it'd be like,
To
hey, check out
people-
this one segment.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Like, 'cause honestly, like some movies we review, like them, for example, it's like, oh, I could just have this on in the background. And
No, it was
could
awesome.
People
Yeah.
could walk in
Yeah.
at any point and enjoy the movie.
Yeah, like,
This
damn,
one's
what's
like,
this about?
oh, you missed the best part. Now you just have to watch the rest of it.
You
Yeah,
gotta,
you just watch
let's
fillers.
wait. Let's
Yeah.
wait till the next short. You know.
Yeah.
So I don't know. If you watched it, cool. Come talk about it or love it or whatever. And
If you did watch it, comment down below. Let us know what your favorite segment was, and if you had the same amount of headaches we did. Okay, you guys ready?
ready.
Yes, sir.
So the first segment we have was called Stork, and if you remember the thing, you'll understand why it was called that.
Yeah.
So basically, there was a special organization called Warden, and they were tasked with finding a bunch of missing babies. So they infiltrate a house after they track down one of the people who went inside, and basically all hell breaks loose. They're like kind of zombified, but also they kind of look like
Demonic?
aliens. I would say they look pretty demonic.
Demonic. Yeah. More
Um,
demonic zombies than aliens for me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I thought in my head I was like, oh, everything's alien related, right? And then you
Sure.
find
Yeah.
the quote unquote stork, and he's been eating brains and feeding the babies,
Yeah.
which like mutated the babies beyond like saving.
Yeah.
and it basically ends with them killing the stork.
Stork.
And just leaving the babies to die because
Yeah, pretty
they were
much.
like, hey, like we can't even let's not even bother telling the families because there's nothing we can do to save them.
I'm not gonna lie, that's an amazing title.
Right?
Yeah.
Because watching the segment, I was like, what is happening?
What did I say? Oh, look, it looks like an ostrich.
Yeah.
I forgot the name of that bird. And I was
It
like,
looks
hey,
like
look.
Big Bird and Melton.
No, when you
Yeah.
said Stark, everything went like clicked into
Yeah,
place. I was
Yeah.
like,
But
half a point.
what did you
Half a
guys? What would you guys give it? Like out of 10?
For the first segment, it was very action packed.
It reminded me a lot of Wreck 2.
That's the first
Wreck
thing I
2,
thought of.
yeah.
What I thought of it overall, it was like cool. Cool. That's it.
Yeah.
It's
It was
cool.
cool. Yeah, no, it was
Like,
cool.
His cool
They
creature
had-
design was kind of lackluster.
It has some cool-
The demon zombies were
Generic.
generic,
the
but they
most
looked
part, yeah.
much better than the stork.
I actually have felt the reverse.
The reverse?
I was like, I liked the way they looked, but I was just like, they remind me of Deadites. They remind me of like every
Yeah,
other
that's true.
thing.
Yeah.
And then once I saw the Stark, I was like, what the? What is that?
No,
So-
but you
He
gotta
looked like
admit,
he
like,
looked like a Jim Henson Muppet.
Yeah,
yeah.
and that's what was
Something
kinda
from like
off-putting
Dark
about him.
Crystal.
the stork had pretty cool mixes between CGI and practical. You know, even towards the end, like I was like, that's a cool costume, whatever.
Well,
You know.
Speaking of CGI, one thing I didn't like with that segment at all
Mm-hmm.
is when they were shooting the stork. You could see the like sci-fi blood splatters,
Yeah, of
and
course.
it just
Yeah.
kind of threw it off for me.
I mean, for
Uh,
the most part, it has some cool scenes. Like one of my favorite scenes is when like he grabs the chainsaw and he just chainsaw one of the demons' heads off, and
Oh,
it kind
and
of
it
falls,
rolls out- yeah, it rolls
rolls
toward
off
him.
into the chainsaw, and he kind of just and he has like a body cam, so you see that perfectly. He just kind of moves it
Yeah.
off.
This
so I
is
was
one
like,
of those parts. This is one of those segments where I would show someone who would be like, "Hey, you want something kind of cool?"
yeah,
yeah, pretty
like
much.
this
Uh,
won't take long, you know.
Mhm.
As far as like placing all of these, I would put this like in the middle. This is like right.
Yeah,
They're in the middle of all of them.
Yeah.
You guys can do it later, but that's for me. That's just like this was like the benchmark of like,
I'd say I'd put this in second.
yeah. That's curious. So
You know, I'll go for third.
third, yeah. Because how many
third.
segments are there total? There's what,
Let's
5?
see.
5.
If we're not including the wraparounds, that's
No, I don't count the
2,
wraparound. Because
I think
wraparound
five,
didn't
yeah,
really.
it's five, five,
that's
five.
4.
That's 5.
There's 5.
It's 5.
So yeah, I put it right there. For 3 for me. So
3 for me as well.
overall,
Oh, shit,
ranking
yeah,
wise though, number if I had to put a number to it, I'd say like 7.
I
'Cause
give it a
I
7.
like the
seven,
gore.
7.
All right,
7,
so
7
then,
heaven jackpot. All right, let's go on to the next one.
next one. What's the next
Next
title?
one. What's
'Cause
the next one?
That title was pretty good.
The next one, the title's not as creative, but the next segment was
Oh,
called.
god damn it.
What?
Yeah, I hated that one.
Face off. Dun, dun,
Was it Face
dun,
Off?
dun,
No.
dun, dun,
Oh.
dun.
I actually guess the name real quick before I read it off.
Face off.
It wasn't Face Off.
Bollywood Face Off.
There I got it. And it's called Dream Girl. It was directed by
Oh, that
Nah,
makes
it's
sense.
Virat
stupid.
Pal.
Well, that's what they called
Written
her.
by
Oh, I
Virat Pal
guess.
and Evan Dixon. So basically, it's about some freelance paparazzi who's basically just trying to get footage. That's all. They're just doing their jobs, right?
Yeah.
Paparazzi are scumbags, and
jealous of the
these guys
fame.
were just trying to sneak on set and trying to get this whole footage, right?
Mhm.
I
That
mean,
was
the,
the gist
the
of
thing
it?
is, they were invited
They
onto
were?
set.
Yeah.
They knew somebody there, and they're like, "Hey, this girl, she's an upcoming star. Like, we just need you guys to get like candid footage of her."
Okay.
So, and
So
they got-
that was the case then. I thought they were just like straight up sneaking on set.
No.
I
I
thought
like-
they were like going through the back door. I was so confused.
I like,
No,
I
literally,
like,
they were
I
like,
like
"Hey,
the.
the guy over there, he's gonna help you guys get inside, and we just need footage."
For me, the biggest confusing part of watching this movie was the in between segments, like the overarching story.
Yeah, we'll get
Oh,
into
yeah.
that.
No, but I'm saying like it threw me off because I was like, oh, we're talking about this guy who lived in this house, so I'm gonna see a clip from that, and then it was like, no,
here's
we're-
the Bollywood movie.
and I was
Yeah.
like, what's? And I got so confused jumping into it. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
So, all
It
right.
also doesn't help. Neither of us slept in like 3 days, but
No,
that's
yeah.
aside the point. We've been up watching VHSs. So this one is basically about the paparazzi. They go to find this. They basically just get candid photos. The guy sneaks into the girl's trailer, and here's an argument with her and the manager, and he gets caught. He finds like a jelly face or whatever.
Face and jelly. Yep.
That was
Yeah,
weird.
and he comes out and he's like, "Oh, like I was just dropping off a gift basket," and she's like, "Hey, like, are you all right? Like, like he shouldn't be able to talk to you like that. Like, you're a star. He should be able to boss you around." And she's like, "You're right. Like, I don't want to be a slave. I want to be someone normal, like
so
you.
let me be
like
normal.
you." So then she turns out she was like an android,
That was
something like
weird,
that.
yeah,
She rips her
something
face
She
off
was like a
and tries to-
cyborg because
It's like a
she had
cyborg,
like
yeah.
she had like but like what is it called? What is it called when you have flesh?
Flesh.
Flesh, yeah.
They should have
Meat,
flesh,
yeah.
Like she had like biological features, like fangs. Did you see that? Like it
Yeah.
was like clearly like skin and bone, like in
Mhm.
between, like was actually not human. I don't know if you guys noticed that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I did, but I would still consider it like an android.
You thought it was just android, just like just straight mechanical.
Yeah.
There's a segment in that portion where she literally takes like a power line and like shoves into her stomach.
And she electrocutes everybody in the room.
It
but
felt like I was watching Carrie, but not as awesome.
it was really disappointing because, like, imagine if Carrie, when like she kills everybody in
Yeah,
the room,
that's exactly what I
you'll
imagined.
see like a storyboard still of everybody dying. That's how it felt over here. Like you see like a picture of a still of everybody just being electrocuted. You know what I mean? Because the lights were flickering. So technically, I guess it makes sense.
According to the Wikipedia, she was a robot / AI machine.
So she was a straight up computer.
robot,
Just a
yeah.
computer.
All right, well then there you go. That's
and
that's
then
my theory.
The makeup and practical effects were pretty fun in that segment. They were completely undermined by the way they shot the massacre scene.
Fuck. The last scene, yeah.
Mhm.
Literally, like it's just the lights are off, and then they're just flashing lights where you see her like kind of killing people, like you were saying, like if it
Yeah.
was like a storyboard.
Exactly.
And it basically ends with a.
Her
This
walking
is this
out
is
of
the first instance of the segments where I was like, oh, this should have ended like 2
Right
to 3
there,
minutes
yeah.
earlier, and it would have been perfect.
When
Because it
everybody,
was
when
just, like,
everybody was dead,
flashing
when everybody
lights,
was there
like,
in the warehouse, they're like, good, it
everyone's
should end
dead.
right here.
She starts singing her song as she walks away. I was like, oh, that's a good way to end
That's
it.
a
Like,
good
just have
ending,
her walk
yeah.
away. And then they were like, oh, here's the outside perspective. There's more paparazzi outside.
Yeah, and she walks outside, kills all the
And kills
paparazzi, and it's
and
like,
it didn't.
alright.
That part didn't add to the story for me.
No, but they didn't add to the story because it was like, oh, she's still wearing the dude's face. She's
Oh,
wearing
yeah.
she looks like leather face. She's wearing a
Yeah.
face, and they're like have no reaction to it. At
It
all.
was
They're
very
like,
comical. It was very
"Ah."
comical, but
Every segment had like a random moment of comedy that was just either completely displaced or it
Yeah.
was, I don't know.
rating.
Well, yeah. Well, rating, and then where would you place this overall?
I give it a 5.
Yeah.
I would go so far as say 6.
The
Yeah.
musical number just took me out of it because I was like, what are we watching?
Oh, yeah.
And then the gore, like the best part of the like actual horror portion, wasn't even like visible for most of
Yeah.
it. So I was like, yeah, I felt like no, I'm good.
I placed
5.
this one at 4.
You dropped
number
I
4, yeah.
made it worse for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, God damn.
No, I say 5. Like it did the job, but also like not.
No.
Not
But
great.
that's
Like,
where you
where-
place
his
it.
ranking,
Like,
like,
yeah.
where
Where
you
would you
place it
rank it
out
out
of
of
the
all
Oh,
of
4.
them? Yeah. Okay. Right. That's
Yeah,
fine.
right below.
I would do 3, so right below my last one.
All right. Look at where we are.
And then for my overall rating, I already said it was going to be like a 6.
Yeah.
So that was fine. The next one we all enjoyed,
Which one
but
was it?
Hell yeah,
it
this one was
suffered.
dope.
It suffered from
Oh,
the same
fuck
thing.
yeah.
I feel-
Yeah.
The thing with this movie is I feel like a lot of the segments go on just for a little too long.
Yeah. Or they just jumped the shark a little bit too much.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the next segment was called "Live and Let Die." So that was directed by
cool.
Justin
Yeah,
Martinez,
that's
written by Ben Turner and Justin Martinez. Basically, one of the guys, his name is Zach. It was his 30th birthday, and he wanted to go bowling. Right, just have a
His
couple
friend's
friends
like,
over. Let's go bowling.
Fuck no. Let's
Like,
go.
No, we're going
Let's
skydiving.
go skydiving.
What's the worst that can happen? Well, I'll tell you.
Yep.
So while they're reaching altitude, they're getting ready to skydive. They see something, and we didn't really see it until they brought it up again. There was a UFO,
Big UFO.
huge UFO. Everybody in the plane starts freaking out. It just kind of disappears, and suddenly they get
Rams like by fighter jets.
by fighter jets,
Yeah.
which causes the plane to lose turbulence.
Yeah, lose control.
No,
and then
it loses a wing.
It loses a wing.
Yeah.
It crashed
Now
into
that
something.
whole scene where the wind with the
It was amazing.
it reminded me. There's this actual video clip on YouTube that went viral. These I think they got it from that because there was these skydivers where like it was supposed to be like 2 different groups skydiving at the same time with 2 different planes, but the planes crash into each other and the dude's GoPro is filming the whole thing, and so you see the wing of the plane like stab the other plane, and then they just kind of like all this mess, and then as the dudes are falling, the GoPro catches a glimpse of the plane, and it's just like shatter and explodes, and it's like it's crazy,
Yeah.
Everybody survived, even both pilots survived, so it's pretty crazy. But exactly like that, it was awesome.
Yeah, the plane crashes. Everyone has to abandon ship. Everyone's getting hit by debris.
There was a dude without a leg
Yeah,
falling.
you see the guy
like,
falling without a leg.
it's
Yeah,
crazy.
They
Yeah,
land.
it was so cool.
Whoever survived. But the thing, like as they're falling, you see one of them is also being attacked by an alien. And after they land, they're trying to look for the other survivors, and they slowly start getting picked off one by one by the alien or aliens. I believe there was 2 of them there.
2 of them, yeah.
Yeah.
Super fun segment, super creative.
Mm-hmm.
It just went on a little too long for me.
Yeah.
And then it got goofy. And
And
so,
then-
The fucking alien opened his fucking head, shot a fucking beam of
The
laser,
and then
took
he
out
had
his
Wolverine claws.
Wolverine
he became
claws,
Baraka.
Yeah.
and electrocuted him. I was like, what?
Yeah.
What is happening right
And
now?
then, and then for a moment I thought they had telekinesis, but I thought that was a spaceship.
Yeah, and it did go for a little too long.
Yeah.
But
Because
ratings.
there was so many moments in that where it was just like, just end it and it's great.
Yeah,
Just
it'd be
leave
perfect.
yeah,
it.
just leave it.
But it kept
Leave
going.
it. Yeah, no.
Ratings. This was let me see, because this was number 2 for me.
It was number 2 for me as well.
Yeah.
Interesting. This one was number 1 for me.
All right.
But I overall for the score, I would give it an 8.
Actually,
because it
no.
drags.
I changed it. Number 1 for me. Number one.
Number 1 for you.
Number 1 for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna rewatch the footage, and Leo's like, "Why does Leo have 2 number 3s?"
No. As far as overall rating, I say 7.5
I give it 7.5
because there was so much like attention to detail in that segment. Like it's. Yes, the monster was goofy when it was actually killing people,
yeah.
but the horror of like the skydiving incident, the relatability to the characters, like them just being goofballs,
yeah.
then the chaos of everything exploding, and it was like,
The
wow,
fighter jets, them falling to the ground. Some
Yeah,
some
and
people
you could
actually
feel-
hit the
you could
ground,
feel
like
the
adrenaline.
not the adrenaline, but also like the weight behind like when the fighter jet flew past them.
yeah.
Like you
Yeah.
like
It was like it was immersive. It was great.
Yeah.
And in the moment where he finds his girlfriend, and it's like his
his
like
girlfriend or his wife.
yeah, it was just like
Just
him,
missing his
him
face.
sobbing and just the whole bit. I was like,
Yeah.
that was all great. And then
Yeah.
you mentioned something that made me die,
No.
like the turtles from
Yeah, I was like, he's like crying, and I was like, it sounds like the turtle from American Dad, where he's like, "We're gonna finish this together."
But the
And he like bites his.
See if you can find that clip from
Yeah.
that's what I'm planning on doing. But no, the segment would have been higher rated for me. Like I would have had it up more if it wasn't because of just that.
If it wasn't because of the other one sucking so bad.
No, it was literally because of the monster just took me out of it so much. I was like,
There was a
"Man."
little bit of practical to the monster that I enjoyed. You know, with
Yeah.
there's quick snippets where the monster kind of like jumps at people. And it's like that's a practical puppet. That's pretty
I
cool.
don't know. I saw
But then there's some janky CGI when he's far away, and it's like it's whatever.
I saw the Cyclops beam, and then I
think
saw the Baraka
when
claws,
you-
and I was
when you
like,
first
and the
see him-
electricity. Like, yeah, it's
When you first see
ridiculous.
him on the ground,
"Oh yeah,
that's fantastic.
That was that's what I was
'Cause
like,
they're walking through like an orange
orange field,
orange
yeah.
tree field or whatever, and you just see it like run past you. Like imagine like the scene from Signs.
Yeah,
But just
or
like-
it's like imagine if they're the monsters from like A Quiet Place, you know?
Yeah.
But
yeah,
a
but that's
lot
kind of what I
smaller.
think that's what I was imagining.
Yeah,
But then when I saw them, I was like, goofy.
Yeah.
yeah.
So all right, next one is
Next one.
Next one was Fur Babies, which you had mentioned. It reminded you of the girl from Misery,
Yeah.
yeah,
and I definitely felt
Annie
that.
Annie Wilkins.
Yeah.
Annie Wilkins.
Uh,
So Fur Babies, directed and written by Christian Long and Justin Long.
Great concept.
Great concept.
oh, Justin Long.
Let's see.
The
Is
actor?
it the actor Justin Long? No,
Yeah,
you don't-
the actor.
No
yeah,
way.
The one that was in Husk.
All right.
That
All right.
explains so much.
That is, yeah. That is,
So basically, the
Wow,
short starts
okay.
off with an infomercial or like a commercial for a doggy daycare center.
Yeah.
And these animal rights activists are like, "Oh, this lady's crazy. Like, look, she has taxidermy dogs on her mantle. Like, what we're gonna do is we're gonna have you guys go undercover.
That was fun.
We're gonna have you guys go undercover, and we're gonna investigate what's going on in this
Mm-hmm.
place." So they bring a dog with the hidden camera on the like carrier.
Mm-hmm.
And they start talking to her, and they start investigating her, and she's kind of like, "Oh yeah, like well, this is how we do it." And it was unnerving in the sense that like there are people who act like that,
Mhm.
and this is just taking a step beyond that.
Yeah.
Because like how she was talking about the animal, she said, "Oh, like well, no, like he's just like a little man. Look at him. I'm gonna call him Henry," you know. And
Yeah.
people act like that, but she
Yeah.
took it a little too far.
Mhm.
So she starts giving him the tour for her daycare, and she starts taking him to a basement, and everything just starts. It just takes a turn from there.
Yeah.
Like it's less bright, it's less colorful. It's like a scene from Hostel.
Yeah. From
And
like
she's
Saw.
just like, "Oh, like yeah, like this is where I keep people who ask weird questions." And they go like, "Well, what do you mean?" And she's like,
whack.
"Yeah." And she,
No, then you hear someone in the background like say something, and then all hell breaks loose from there.
yeah. So
Yeah.
she kidnaps them. She starts experimenting on them, turning them into dogs.
Weird mutated human hybrids. Like
Yeah.
that was
Like
cool.
sewing dog parts onto them.
Yeah.
Like that So yeah, like I said, we're spoiling, so
It's
So
a miniature
it was
version
cool.
of Tusk,
It
Yeah,
is.
but with
very
dogs.
sure, yeah.
But I was saying it gave me Human Centipede vibes.
A
Oh,
little
no,
bit,
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Tusk, same
I said
thing, you know.
Human Centipede vibes and something else. I said
Tusk.
no, I didn't say Tusk.
No, you said Tusk. You said Human Centipede. You said Hostile. Hostile.
Hostile,
Hostile, yeah.
And Human Centipede. And then you said Hostile.
Saw, yeah.
And yeah, for right off the bat, this was my favorite story. And, like, I actually physically had a reaction just watching. I was like, oh yeah, like that. That hits. That hits a little too deep.
Yeah, and there was a really good segment where I'm pretty sure she sees the camera, but she doesn't draw attention to it. She like
Right.
she
She
stares,
just stares
back
at
the camera,
Mhm.
she was looking at me. I swear to God.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my favorite segment just because it was so deranged. The only part I didn't like about it was the beginning portion, that infomercial part. I felt like it could have been like a couple seconds
Yeah,
shorter.
it
Because
took a
I
while
was cringing.
to,
I was cringing watching it,
to
and
pick up.
then them being like, what is it? What would you call them? Like
Animal rights activists.
Yeah, but they were like
Yeah.
overly.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, they're like,
emphasize-
we should call the police. Like, no, screw the police.
They're
They're
fascists.
they're
yeah.
fascists. Like, it's like, all right,
No,
relax.
but they're like, oh, she's like an animal daycare, but she has mutilated animals in the background. They just point out this one bulbous eye
Yeah, I like that one.
dog. It was so silly.
I don't think they even really pointed out too much. I brought it up to you guys first. I was like, look at the one on the right.
we just
Yeah.
noticed and we just started laughing.
And then obviously the scene, the main horror of the skit's fantastic, and then it gets so goofy at the end. And it
Like,
was
it ends
obviously-
perfectly, but then they had to add that one scene
I think they
where,
just
like,
did it for humor. They had to have
they
it
had to
that
have
way.
it for human, yeah.
Like it ends almost perfect, and then they add an extra scene.
And then an
And it
extra
ruins
scene
it.
is the
It's like
humanoid
a humanoid dog
playing
drinking
with the
water.
ball.
Yeah,
And then
playing
there
with
was
the ball,
a-
drinking
yeah.
water. Then the porch pirate comes and he
He
jumps
just
out. and
bursts
kills
to
him.
the door and he just eats them. Like,
Yeah.
it's
Like,
like, all right.
I was taking it seriously until that moment, and I was like, okay, I guess it's just kind of a nod to the audience. Like, yeah, this is
Yeah, but in a way,
Yeah.
it's like they're dog hybrids. How serious can you take it?
Yeah.
that part with the paw, like that part was so so jacked up.
How would you rank it? I rank it number 2.
I already said 1. This is my
Okay,
1.
and Raymond?
I would say I don't remember what I said. I would say 4.
Okay, and
They're
then I
fourth
give
from the
it.
bottom?
4th from the bottom.
I give it like
That's crazy.
It's just that whole
That is
last
different to
that
taste,
whole
that's
last that whole
fine.
last 5 minutes took it out for me.
Like
Yeah.
1 minute.
And like I said, almost nearly every segment lasted a little too long.
Yeah.
And the fact that this movie's runtime is nearly 2 hours,
Almost,
you
yeah.
could have cut cut things.
A lot.
Like you need an hour and 30 minutes to make it a feature length.
Mhm.
They didn't need to have that last part.
One of our
But
things
I'm
while
glad they had
watching,
fun with it.
Yeah,
And
that's true.
knowing Justin Long was attached to the project, I know why.
gives you a little
watching
better.
the movie, I was like, I feel like every segment was required to be a certain length. That's how it felt at a lot of
It's
moments.
like, oh, we haven't met the quota. Let's add another 3 minutes to it.
Yeah. It's like, we'll
Um,
just have a dog attack somebody.
I give it a 7.
a 7.
Yeah.
Ranking wise, I give it an 8.
Okay.
Just
I'd say
because
7 as well.
7.
I was actually legitimately frightened at certain portions. I was disturbed,
Yeah.
and disturbed in the proper way, not like when Human Centipede and you're like,
Ah.
This was just like, oh no, that's jacked
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
But
So
that being
we-
said, before we get
yeah.
into the final 2 segments, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break, and we will be right back. All right, and we are back with the last 2 segments. We're going to talk about the last segment, which, in my opinion, was probably one of the weakest with the most interesting concepts. And then the...
Interesting concept towards the
Nailed.
end.
No, I
Towards
mean,
the end.
it was interesting, and then...
It was interesting all the way
wraparound,
through, and then it was
which
just like,
is easily the I think the wraparound is why most people clicked off of this movie. So you guys ready for the last segment?
Sure,
yeah.
let's
I think
get it.
you're perfectly described that.
right.
Okay, go for it.
I give it a
So-
3. Just kidding. Go ahead.
So the last segment is called Stowaway. It was directed by Kate Segal and written by Mike Flanagan,
Son of a bitch.
who you might know from such movies as Oculus. You might know him from such movies as Hush, Before I Wake, Gerald's Game,
Does that change your opinion of it?
The Midnight
9.3.
Club, The Haunting of Bly Manor, The Haunting of Hill House.
So banger.
Just a lot of indie, not small projects, right?
Like we mentioned, interesting concept, so we can see where it came
Oh,
from.
okay, I get it.
There we go.
Yeah,
All right.
It was like, I think I just didn't understand it at first.
Maybe after a second
Yeah.
watching.
Actually, we're going to go back and rewatch it. 10 out of 10. Mike, if you're watching, we love you.
Please sponsor us.
Mike Flanagan. It's like Midnight Mayhem, sponsored by Mike
Mike
Flanagan.
Flanagan.
So this one was basically about a woman, let's see, a woman who is implied to have left her husband and child behind. Okay, so
Yikes.
she was the mother, So the film starts off with a little girl singing "Happy Birthday,"
Yeah.
and then it kind of cuts to this older woman.
Mm-hmm.
She is investigating some strange lights that were appearing over, what was it, Roswell?
Roswell.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and she's investigating a couple people, and they're like, "Oh, like what network did you say you were from?" She's like, "Oh, I never said that. I'm an independent journalist."
It's a documentary.
Yeah, so she's trying to find these lights and everything, and there was a segment in that where you said it was pretty heartbreaking, because she thinks she sees the lights, and she's like, "I'm gonna go back and review the footage."
Yeah.
And it shows like another clip of the little girl singing.
Happy birthday. Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't even that. She was doing something else.
It was her. Yeah. No, it was. She was just dancing. Like
She was just
Oh,
dancing.
yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, like I just
Accidentally
filmed over some stuff I
have
shouldn't have filmed over."
and I was like, oh, what a way to find that out. I felt
yeah.
it made my heart ache.
Yeah,
I
like,
won't interrupt too much.
we've
Go
all
ahead.
accidentally like
Done something like
done
that.
something like that where we overwrite something. You're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
like,
Family footage. It's like
I needed that." Like very
devastating.
heartbreaking. But she eventually tracks down the lights, and it's pretty interesting because the lights are only seen through the eye just as regular lights, but if she looks at it through infrared, it's creating like a atmosphere,
like a magnetic field or an aura.
something like that. Yeah. And then things take a turn for the worst in the segment when she finds the spaceship.
Yeah.
As soon as she goes in the spaceship, nothing makes sense. It's not that it doesn't make sense. You can't see anything in the segment.
It's like not. That's the main issue with this specific one. It's like you can't see anything. I get it's supposed to be like left to the interpretation, imagination, but like there was nothing. Like I was just getting a headache watching it. I was like, there's no way. Like no way this was intentional. Like.
And it's like the way she was describing. She's like, look at these architecture, look at this technology, this and that. But
You're like, where?
yeah, she's like describing all this shit, and like everything is so abstract in this spaceship, and the lighting is so low, and
I think it would have
she's
been
like
better for
she's
us
like
if she
filming
left the
so
camera
close
lens on.
in. Yeah, she like she like zooming like all close in. It's like, what are we watching right now? You know?
I get it's supposed to be like amateur and it's supposed to be like a handheld camera, you know, but it's like
because one of the segments where she sets the camera down to speak to it, it's completely slanted. You know what that's like.
yeah.
And
it was the movie. The
Yeah.
front
It
half of this skit
creates
was like
mysterious,
it's so
you know?
charming.
yeah, but it's just like you get she doesn't really know what she's doing, but it's like so close in. It's so close. It's so dark. But where the interesting concepts lie is she starts kind of going through the ship, and there's like a
wire.
and she's like, I'm gonna pull it. And I was like, wow, she's
Yeah.
gonna be in a giant guitar, and kind of.
Yeah, he
It
touches
creates
it,
a
it goes,
chord.
"Whoa."
Yeah,
She does it. It makes a big sound, but it was super sharp. She cut her finger,
right.
and these little robots, these little specks, they come down and they patch her up, and you kind of see it's not exactly like perfect. It's
Not
a
really
little-
her skin either. Like it's
Yeah, it's
kind of
kinda
like,
bumpy.
Yeah.
And she goes, "Oh, that's interesting. Like it must have known I was hurt, and it
Yeah.
came down and it healed me." It's pretty interesting. And then later she is going through. She tries to open a door, so she hits another one, and she cuts herself again because she's basically saying like, "Oh, like whatever creatures you're using these, they must have super dense skin.
Right.
Like since my skin's softer,
They cut
it's
through
cutting
butter.
it."
Yeah.
So then the little robots go down. They heal her again. You kind of see her finger has like a really long nail,
Yeah.
and basically she's like, "Oh, I don't think these robots are equipped to heal humans." So basically, she's slowly becoming like a
hybrid
hybrid
alien or something.
So anytime she got hurt, the nanobots would go down. They would heal her. Now here's where things get tricky for her. The ship
Fucking blasts
Leaves.
into fucking atmosphere.
leaves. It completely messes up her arm.
So
So she wakes up and her arm is starting to mutate.
Yeah.
while watching this segment, you're like, okay, it's kind of hard to see, but I see what's
Anything.
going on. Now it's like impossible to see.
No, because like when the ship is moving, everything is just moving from one side. On top of that, it's zero gravity, so the camera's like twisting while she's like on the left side of the screen. It's in black and white for some reason too.
There's
Oh, because it was an infrared.
Was
She
I
turned
don't
on the
think
infrared
so.
because it was so fucking dark inside. She turned the infrared on, so it was in black and white, and she left it
I
that
don't know.
way.
There was a visible glare. Like I know it was intentional, but I was like, I can't. Like you can't tell anything.
Come on, Mike. Come on.
I know he wrote it. Great concept, Mike. Great concept. But the guy who filmed the cinematography, come on, man.
was my plan.
Come on. Who's the cinematographer for this
So
one?
at this point,
That doesn't
so
say.
what's happening is that because she's getting launched into space, she's getting hurt. because she's a human without a seatbelt on.
She's hitting a wall.
She's hitting
to the
walls.
left.
And that part was funny.
It
Yeah.
was.
When they go
But-
when they fly off real quick, you just hear your body just go
Whoosh! Yeah, right into the wall.
But then the ship automatically heals her, and from what we could tell, that it got DNA from specimens on Earth,
So,
which
like
was like
spiders, octopuses,
Lizards,
lizards.
yeah.
the one. Yeah, it was everything that was in the desert. So it was like iguana, like so like
Spiders, yeah.
as it's repairing her, it's mutating her, and it's
So
she's
she
becoming
broke her arm, now she has like a spider arm. Or she broke her like left eye, now she has lizard eyes or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and then she's go ahead, finish it.
Yeah, there's a part toward the end where she's like, I like no more. Like I just like she keeps getting injured. She's mutated beyond all hell.
Yeah.
So she tries to kill herself by slitting her own neck.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly doesn't work.
Yeah, I was like,
the
Mutates
nanobots
her
see it
more,
and then
yeah.
mutates her more. So it's a very tragic ending for a character who, like, quite frankly, didn't really deserve anything too bad.
yeah, it's just-
Interesting
it's just
concept, though.
tragic.
Interesting concept.
No, yeah,
It's interesting that you like it now.
Interesting concept.
No, I agree. It is a very interesting concept.
Very
Really
interesting
cool.
concept.
Very
poorly
sad.
executed.
Super.
No,
poorly,
that like that final piece, it actually gave me a headache. Like I was like, and I've seen Cloverfield. Like I've seen movies that are meant to be handheld and ridiculous and
Yeah.
over the top, and I'm like, this literally was like, I look like I'm looking at a light bulb. Like
Yeah, exactly. A dying light bulb.
So ranking wise, this was on the bottom for me. And then as far as number goes, I was like a 4. Because I was like, everything was so cool, and then until it was not even a movie anymore. It wasn't even a feature. It was just there.
Yeah, and that same goes for me. I'm going to put this on the bottom of the list at 5 for me. Overall ranking, I would also give that a 5. Because once again, great concept, poor execution, and there's really nothing else I can say about that.
I mean, on the scale, number 1. No.
Number one, Mike, can you hear me?
Man, yeah, bottom of the list. Dead
It's
center
unfortunate, yeah, but it's just unfortunate. Like
Yeah.
I was watching the segment, I was like, I felt for this character. I liked this character, and then I was like,
It's
I
just-
can't
Outside
even
the
enjoy.
fact she like left
It's
her husband
just a
and child.
cinematography
Well,
of
I didn't
everything,
know
bro.
the
You
exact
can't
reasons.
see anything.
Yeah.
In my mind, I thought maybe it was her. Like I think you were the one who was like, oh, maybe that was her. Like
Yeah, I was like, oh, maybe her child was like abducted,
I thought it was.
and she's been like chasing,
Finding,
trying
yeah.
to find answers.
When
That would
I-
be great.
When
That
I
would've
first
been
watched
cool.
it, I thought it was her recording over her own.
That's
footage,
that's
like,
what
of
I thought
herself.
too.
It's just a small line she says where she's like, oh, you're a great mother, because she filmed over it.
Yeah.
And I didn't know if she was referring to herself or if she was referring to
Her own
mom.
mother.
Yeah.
But like, it wouldn't make sense.
But now after you read that portion, I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, now I understand it more.
So my rating, 3. 34
Three.
out of 10.
Nah,
Nah,
like 3 out of 10 or like the third on your list.
it's
So,
nah,
yeah.
it's 3 out of 10. It's terrible.
Yeah, 4 out of 10. 4 out of 10 for me because I was like, cool concept, but it's not visible. So that's
Yeah.
it. I've already said like 4 times, but I
Not
can't
only
get
is it
over
not
it.
visible,
I can't
but
get over it. Like
it's in what's it called? What did I say it was recorded on?
Infrared?
Infrared. So it's all black and white too. So not only is it shaky, blurry, but it's also black and white. You can't see shit.
this segment's the reason why I can't recommend this movie to people.
Yeah.
Because I'm like,
And it's towards the
my
end,
sister
so
would
it's
get sick
like
watching this.
yeah.
My brothers wouldn't even be like, what the hell is this?
And it kind of sucks. 'Cause it's towards the end, so it's like once you go through all the
You're
good
already
ones, you're like,
committed.
all right, well now we just
Like,
gotta
the movie's
fucking
almost over. I guess
we gotta
I'll
swallow
finish.
the rest of the fucking movie now. You know?
All right, well, let's get on to the last segment. With last segment
the last
being
segment
the
is the-
overarching story.
Yeah, which is going to be the wraparound, and that was called Abduction. So,
Wow.
abduction/adduction, the
Abduction.
frame narrative.
Okay.
Sure.
So it was written and directed by Jay Chill.
Wes
basically-
Craven. All
Oh,
right.
best part. But it was
Ari Aster.
basically it was about an anonymous redditor who found these VHSs, and he basically was like, "Oh, like I watched them. Like there's real footage of aliens in this. It's great." And the one thing I will say about this segment, had a fun cameo in it.
Yeah, I had a really cool
What is it?
cameo.
Digital Quarter or Quarter Digital?
Quarter digital.
Yeah, they were in this movie, and that was
They're
10
really
out of
great.
10.
I love Quarter Digital. Like they're amazing. I watch their videos all the time.
if you're
and-
watching.
No, and it's funny because they did like 2 videos that were about proving which UFO videos were real. It was released like 3 months ago. And yeah, so obviously they're BFX artist reacts, you know, so
Yeah.
they view like, you know, all the videos like they view movie footages that are, you know, they use bad CGI and good CGI, and they explain how they can fix it and what's not to fix, right?
Yeah.
So a while back they made UFO videos, and they kind of like debunk it. It's like, okay, you can tell this is CGI, or you can tell this is fake, and then some of them they're like, we don't know how they did that, so it might be real, you know?
Yeah.
And then I guess they saw that and they're like, hey, let's put you guys in this movie as a fake doc, you know?
Or they probably were asked to be in this movie. And they were like,
use
oh,
that
like,
footage.
well,
keep talking about guys. I can tag him in this video.
yeah.
No.
It's just, they were probably asked to do this video, and they're like, oh, like, well, it would be interesting if we did a video about like UFOs, and it's kind of also plays as like a teaser for their cameo in this movie.
Yeah, no, it's I thought it was super cool.
But overall, it was very boring. It was documentary style. I didn't care what any of the other people had to say.
Me neither, bro.
And then the end result, basically the whole lead up was to watch the 2 VHSs that showed the quote unquote proof, and it was basically like, I want to say 2 minutes of just a figure going inside, sticking its hand in his mouth. He screams. That's the movie.
The end. That's it.
I felt like all it did was serve to hurt the movie, which is weird.
One of the things I did hear about this movie is that there was a lot of slow portions.
No, I felt like it damaged the movie.
They had to like fast forward through it just to get through it.
I had tried like it hurt me in my viewing experience of the other films.
Yeah.
Like the other
it's true. Like I said, it's like once you get over the good parts, you kind of have to swallow the rest.
VHS Beyond.
So.
With that being said, if you guys don't have any final thoughts, we'll give the overall movie rating, and then just for fun, we'll read off like 1 or 2 comments on the Shutter comment section.
I've always wanted to do that because I think it's hilarious.
I give the entire movie a 7. You know, like
That's crazy.
A 7? It's pretty high.
Because I'm thinking about Mike Flanagan, man. Mike Flanagan. No,
There's
you're
actually 2
right.
points up for you,
No,
Mike.
6.5. Because there's some scenes that are good, you know, but after you're done with those scenes, you kind of have to just bear with the rest of the movie.
If I'm rating it all together, I already know exactly what mine's at. What is yours? I want to hear yours first.
All right, we're gonna say it at the same time. Ready?
All right.
1, 2, 3,
4,
5.
Wow.
I
remember.
Oh,
we
you know what 5 rhymes with? My.
Yeah.
I just realized. Do we do our intro?
Oh shit.
We'll do it in post.
Well, I'm Bob and I love horror.
I'm Leon. I love movies.
And I'm Raymond, the guy who forgot to do the intro.
The reason why I even bring that up is because I love horror. So like I was like, this isn't.
And I love movies, Mike.
Yeah. my main issue with this is like
I love watching them. I love making them, Mike.
like I like segments of it, but since I can't recommend it. Like it's like it's not good
because it's an anthology. I do like to treat it not as an entirety of a film, but as segments.
Yeah.
Sure,
and because there were like 2 or 3 segments where I was like, this was fun. It put that more at a medium level for me than it would have a negative.
It's for me it was almost below average, which is unfortunate because I liked a lot of segments, but I'm just like, man, I don't know. That's how I felt about it.
Yeah.
So, but you're 7. So what was justify yours?
What? Oh, you want to justify? I can justify it. All right. Sorry, Mike. No, I can't just rate it a 7 because I'm rating it. No, because look, listen, I'm rating it a 7 because I'm just thinking about the ones that I liked. But the ones that I didn't like,
for watching a 2-hour movie,
exactly.
Were the scenes you didn't like enough to weigh it down?
Exactly.
I get what you're saying.
No, because like every short had a scene that dragged, you know. And there were some shorts that I just didn't like overall.
I think the only short that didn't drag was the first one.
The first one, yeah.
Storks.
Exactly. That it started, it picked up right away, I feel like. And it just ended. I feel like it ended pretty fast, I feel like.
Yeah, and the only reason why it just felt weird for us is because it started off with the wraparound.
Exactly.
Which was super slow, just people talking.
Yeah,
and
documentary style, yeah.
And the segment was, if you just judge that segment overall, that was a great segment.
Yeah, it was all action paced, so it's like, oh, all right, now we're getting to it, you know?
Yeah.
And then the one after that, I just didn't like. The next one, I liked the beginning of it, you know? And then the one after that, I was like, cool concept. Mike? No, not Mike. Damn it. Justin Long. And the last one, great concept, but, you know, it sucked.
Yeah.
6.5.
Okay, so without Mike's involvement, this would have been a 5.5 for Leo.
3.3.
I feel like some of the like other movies we've seen that I didn't like, I would rewatch those over this, like hands
Oh.
down.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Like I think of like Mirrors specifically.
Definitely save you a headache.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, if I was ever gonna recommend this, I'd be like, here, watch this segment. It's
Watch
awesome.
this. Skip to this timestamp. Watch
Yep.
this.
No, I literally sit them down and be like,
Yeah.
watch the dog reaction. like, I want to see your reaction to this, or I want to see you how would you feel about this. And they're gonna be like,
Yeah.
oh, this sounds like a great movie. Let's watch it. And I'm gonna be like, no, don't do it.
Yeah.
All right, and then we're gonna go look at some of these comments because that should be fun. One person says it was fun. Fur babies felt like an odd segment and didn't match the theme, but it was decent. Tusk really messed up Justin Long.
Like,
One says a solid film overall with a great wraparound. I don't agree with that. I'm not usually a what? Hold on, I gotta spell check this guy. I'm not usually of alien stuff, so I'm assuming they meant a fan of alien stuff. But it was very well put together. My favorite segment was Love and Let Dive. Stowaway was a bit boring and left something to be desired.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, I agree with
agree
that.
with
But
it, yep.
The wraparound, like,
Yeah.
easily. The
It's
weakest
because
part
I
for
feel
me.
like they take this the wraparound as like an epilogue. They're like, all right, that's its own thing. We're not gonna rate it as a short. It's
Yeah.
just like it's just part of the background, pretty much.
Yeah. One says lackluster stories, but if you're a gore hound, you might love it.
Yeah.
There wasn't enough gore in this movie for me to recommend it for anyone who's a gore lover.
only the first segment.
The first segment.
But even the Bollywood one, that one
The
had
Bollywood
cool,
Oh, okay, I guess if you count gore from the
They
dog
ripped her,
one.
it ripped the arms out. That was cool.
It was cool when the lights were on.
Yeah, exactly. At least that part
there
you
was
can
one
see
segment
it.
where she like spits acid blood at her manager.
Yeah.
It reminded me of the Ratman segment from one of the previous entries, which I don't think you guys have seen yet. So
No.
that could be fun to revisit.
I think I have, but
I haven't.
her design was cool. But
It was cool.
It was just the
Glowing red
flash.
light.
It's just the same problem the last one had. It was like once we got to the seizure lights, I was like, oh.
But there was this one stupid part that Bobby brought up. It's like there was a part where like the lights turn off and they couldn't find her.
And then they turn on their lights.
No. But the thing is, she's a cyborg and she has a red light as an eye. So it's like, just look at the fucking red dot in the dark. That
Well, I
thing's-
don't think they were looking for her.
They were trying to find a way out. But
They're
my
trying to
thing,
find a way out,
my
trying to
my
find
thing
their-
is, if you're in a dark room and you turn on a flashlight, a beam of light where you're like a
Yeah.
beacon of where you're at. So I was like, oh, whatever.
And then one thing I will say overall about the movie, this is not a review that I'm reading. This is one I had myself. Is I don't think they had enough, like all the extra 5 minutes that they add at the end of every segment that made it too long.
Mm-hmm.
Use character development. Like I felt like I didn't really get to know any of the characters in the segments. You don't need to know them, but at the very least, you should at least know their names.
I guess so.
Live or Let Die had the most character development, hands down.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say
but
character
there was
development, but like just overall like exploration of like,
Well, like you're like
hey, this is who they are. Who
Or
they are as
Stowaway, even that one had like more. Even though that sucked, it had I think the most character development out of everybody.
Stowaway.
Yeah.
What's
The
that?
Dream Girl, the Stowaway was the last segment.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
Oh, yeah,
The
okay.
Dream Girl segment, I was just a little confused as like to who was still alive and who was
Yeah,
dying.
it was fucking confusing.
Let's see. Then we're gonna do two more. Says VHS is pretty hit or miss as a series, but this is probably the best one yet. The theme left the room for a lot of the fun and a good ride for what it is. Agree or disagree?
I'm not gonna bag on someone's opinion, but
It's
I don't-
opinion, but
I
I'm
don't
saying
agree.
like, does your opinion agree? Yeah, I don't.
don't agree.
I don't
I
agree with
mean,
it.
I
It
think the
is.
first
It is what it
VHS was
is. It
fantastic.
is what it is. I feel like every VHS movie has its own little.
Yeah, they all don't have.
You know,
they're not
their
all
own little
bangers,
This
but
theme,
This is the thing is
but-
everyone keeps referencing it to the theme, and if it were a theme, I would be like, yeah, like I agree, but I don't think there was really a theme.
There was a lot of
Overall-
aliens in the movie.
Overall, I feel like there were more aliens than not, but I don't
Sure.
think that was like the theme of the movie, and
So,
the
like,
fact
that-
that the wraparound didn't
Well,
really.
I
Just
feel
real
like
quick,
I feel like
so-
the title. Look, the title Beyond. Like the first one had like Demon Beyond. Second one was a robot AI. Beyond.
sci-fi. Okay.
Exactly, sci-fi.
Third
so
one was aliens.
aliens. Exactly. The fourth one was like the dog hybrid. So it's kind of like
That has nothing to do with the.
that
Like
has
you said, it
nothing
was
to
out
do
of
with
nowhere.
it. Yeah. And
Fifth
then
one is
Stowaway.
aliens again. Yeah.
Exactly. So.
So it was like two of the five weren't related to aliens at all.
Nope.
I don't know.
And the last review I'll read because it just hit so deep. It says, where is it? I don't know why I keep watching these.
Fuck. That's a good one.
As someone who's seen all the VHS films, they fluctuate heavily in their quality.
Yeah.
This one was the weakest in my opinion.
Really?
I'll-
Well, I mean, then again, I haven't seen the other 8.
I'll chisel out the answer for you. It's because those like subtle like good moments in this bad like these bad horror films or these some bad segments. They're like gold. They're like little diamonds in the rough. They're like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just this
It's
is
like
why
watching crappy sci-fi horror movies to find that one
Exactly.
good
Oh
horror
my
movie.
gosh.
Little
Yeah.
tiny bit. Yeah.
It's the reason why when I was a teen and as an adult I watched like horrible dumb horror movies, and I'm just like that was a unique kill.
I mean, that's
That
the
was
whole
a-
reason why we watched the first
like-
VHS. We watched it when we were kids, technically, you know? And
I
it was
don't
on
remember what year it
Netflix.
came out, but yeah, I remember
2012?
2012.
when I
think so.
graduated.
Yeah, so we watched it. I remember we were sleeping over at a friend's house. We watched it, and it's like, this is fun. You know,
Yeah, it
this
was
is
awesome.
fun. You know, you're with your friends, you're watching like a cheap, gory movie. Like,
But
it's fun.
That's because it was fun.
That was a
And-
good. That was a good movie.
Well,
Yeah.
if you would have seen this back then, how I feel like we would have had a blast too. But just now that I feel like that we're older,
we
we're
were
like,
teenagers.
It's not the movie, it's the company. And with that, I think we're gonna wrap up today's episode.
so cute.
I know. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. If there's any fun edits in the episode, make sure to comment down below which one you like the most.
if you
And
disagree,
if you saw the movie, let us know what your favorite segment was and if our rankings matched your rankings.
I'm very curious because I think you can't argue what the top 2 stories were. Like I genuinely
they're the
believe-
best ones. Yeah, no, they're the best ones.
So, I mean, unless you really like gore, Storks could probably be
Yeah.
up there. But
But Mike, if you're watching, Story was probably the best one.
Hands down.
Thank you, Mike.
If
Thank
you're not
you.
watching
Always
Mike,
putting out
then
bangers.
definitely was Live and Let Dive.
Thank you, Mike.
But yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We will be back with another episode of Midnight Mayhem as soon as Leo gets back from his nice little trip.
yes, happy Halloween. Thank
Happy
you for joining us.
Halloween.
Happy Halloween. We'll be back with a Halloween special, maybe.
I think this is going to come out after.
No, my goal is October. Let's get this, baby. I got this.
True. Yeah.
Alright.
I mean, we've already put out the Halloween special.
It's
though.
already out, guys. Make
So,
sure to
yeah,
click down
make sure
below.
to click. Make sure to watch
No,
it,
it's
rate it. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Corridor Digital. Thank you for supporting us. We'll keep in touch, okay?
Yeah,
All right.
don't call me. We'll call you. We'll keep in touch.
Thank you. All right,
right,
bye,
thank you.
guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Love you.